think we got some action here uh, this evening with the Nuggets and the Thunder. Let me call up the lines here. Busy talking to myself and to you guys. Nuggets here on the road. I saw the Nuggets take some action here and move this line just before we came on the air up to 3.5 here now and 229.5. Maybe it's even gone a little bit higher. Let's take a look. Yeah, I'm showing some books. Even I'm showing one offshore book, a Square offshore book, very popular, up to 4, and the total here is at 229. And well, while the Nuggets, certainly are off to a 2-0 start. You know who else is 2-0? Our buddies, if you will, the Thunder, and I'm getting points at home. I mean, come on. You kidding me? Denver, sure, it's going to be a great season for Denver. And let me hold on a second here. Thank you, Fernando. Um, let's get this in here. Uh, yeah, let's take a look at that. Thank you for that information there, Fernando. If you see it in the chat, I'm not going to interrupt here just yet with that, but obviously, pretty big news here coming across the wire. Now, um, look, Johnson never made it in the league, but he did make it to the NHL, but just for basically a cup of coffee. But interesting there. I will look into that. Thank you. And continuing on here with this one, Salty Fly Guy says, Thunder Buddies, Furnaces fade the Nuggets and go under in this one here tonight with 229.5. And let's see if I can get a few nice statistics here for us to compare because I don't know. I think I'm ready to make the call here on this one and take the Thunder. Here maybe they'll go 3-0. It feels like this is the same Thunder to me. I don't. I'm not worried at this point. Did they have ups and downs last year while we were trying to hit them on certain nights and get the best of that of their value day in and day out? Sure, they had some issues, but Denver's been good on the road, and this series, Denver. Well, the road team usually gets some money here, but um, I really want to trust here in um, the Thunder and SGA, uh, Dort, these guys here tonight. I'm more interested in taking the points with a Thunder team that uh, you know they're money makers, man. That's just the way you got to approach this. I feel like the steam did come in on the Nuggets, no doubt about it. But I want the Thunder plus the points at home. They're already uh, won a couple of games here. The Nuggets are going to be fine, but the road can be difficult. You got a Thunder team that can look to beat a team like Denver at home. Walking Spotted Bear, nice to see you. How you been? Miss you. Appreciate you stopping by. Brown Beats says go over as well. Ray's going to lean with the Thunder. I'll take the Thunder in this one. System play. Hawks and the Bucks Sunday night. NBA here is start to get into the evening schedule. This is a 1 day game, but this one 7 Eastern and 4 Pacific. In this one, Milwaukee done pretty well in this series. They've won 11 out of the last 13 meetings when playing the Atlanta Hawks at home. For Milwaukee, they had some trouble covering numbers late last season. I know it was a playoff, so they've also gone over in their contest so far. So I think the Bucks is probably going to be laying a little bit too many points for me to want to get involved here with Atlanta early on, and I'm going to end up taking Atlanta. I don't necessarily see the Bucks as a team that's going to be blowing anybody out just yet early in the season, especially an Atlanta team with Young and now, granted, for Young against Lillard, that certainly is a matchup to keep an eye on. But uh, I'm taking 7 points for sure. Let me check the line here on that and make sure. Yeah, it's probably let me at least mark it down to 6.5 because the move is probably on the Hawks here at this point. That total 238.5 can't be too. I we'll see. We haven't really. I don't know. It doesn't seem like we're getting to these 240 games again this season. Just kind of like last season when all those 240s ended up kind of getting short a little bit. And right, Ferner, just look, are the Bucks a top contender for the right? I feel like we're all overlooking, like, oh, we're trying to find another team. This is what I said, right? We just previewed Denver too, so I guess you could tie it in. Everyone wants to try to find another team outside of Denver and Milwaukee right now, um, to win the championship. But who really? I mean, okay, we could take some stabs at some other teams. They maybe they could. This is the NBA. You get in the playoffs. You get a 7-game series. Right now, I kind of want to. I mean, Lillard just had a great game. Right, he just looked great. It fit in just perfectly. In fact, this looks really good. Really good. I'm going to take the Hawks. I'm going to think the Bucks are a pace themselves type of team, especially now with Lillard. I don't mean pacing like pace the game. I'm talking about like pace the season, if you will. You're not throwing away games. You're not tanking games. You still got to play the games. Atlanta's okay. They've got some good personnel. This will be a game that the Hawks can win, and the Hawks can win the game. There's no reason not even maybe to take a pop on them on the money line in this one. It's not out of the question. So if they're at home, well, I mean, it'd be dealing with a different spread and everything like that. But I have no reason to think the Hawks aren't able to stay in this one. I'm going to take feel like almost the first one where I'm saying that premium. You're like, oh, this could be a premium. The Hawks look good in this spot for sure tonight. All right, here's the Warriors taking on the Rockets here Sunday night NBA. And you have Golden State here on the road. Yeah, the Rockets. We're almost willing to put the Rockets. And I didn't want to say it, but obviously the Rockets might be the worst team right now. I mean, I don't want them to be. I want to think they can be better, and maybe this is the spot for the Rockets. But I mean, I'm going to be I'm going to be on them half the time. I would think at this point, I'm not necessarily fading them, and I don't want to trust the Warriors here necessarily on the road either. Well, I know this Rockets aren't going to be able to stop them. I don't. I'm taking the over. Right, 228 here. Um, you guys coming in on anything on this game yet? I know you see a lot of comments there on that last game, but for me, the Rockets at home, sure. Can the Warriors up the tempo, up the pace, whatever? I don't think it's necessarily all about that. I just think it's in general the Rockets are going to be not as strong defensively. Look, they scored only I don't even know what it was, 86 point. What was it, 86, 90, whatever it was. They didn't score very many points last game, and they looked bad. But that's not who the Rockets are. Maybe this situation is not great. Maybe the maybe this is not a right scenario for this team and this franchise. whatever the case may be. We're not talking about that. We're talking about one game tonight. Okay, thank you, Ferner. Let me update that. 225.5. Look, this move is lower. Good. Good, because I'm going to take the over. Maybe the sharps are right. Maybe it's the sharps that are moving this. I don't necessarily show that to be the case. I'm not talking about the line. I think you're right about the line. And it has gone up here to 5.5 or so, it looks like. Was as high as I've seen 4.5 to 6.5. So we're right in the middle, obviously, and 5.5 may be the point that we're at. But I see the Rockets faring better offensively, and in turn, I believe the sacrifice will be on the defensive end here in this one with the Warriors, as they'll probably look to be able to win this game, considering what's going. The Rockets not looking too good. Believe me, the Sharps are going to be all over the Rockets. I might end up on the Rockets. I don't know if I'll be, not a premium or anything, but I'm probably somewhere on the Rockets here. Right. Well, that's usually a sign of a sharp play, and then that would put me on the side of the squares. It feels like to me, Ferner, but I don't care. This I don't call me square. I mean, I'm I pick more goofy dogs. I think I don't know. I pick a lot of crazy. I pick a lot of chalk too. Like I said, you want everything in your arsenal. I'm going to take the over too. If it's gone under, if it's gone lower, I'm taking the over in this one. The Portland Trailblazers going to take on the Philadelphia 76ers. And we've seen some news in this game, believe it or not, regarding James Harden. He's been upgraded to questionable in this game tonight to make his appearance, the first appearance at home. Now, look, everybody want everybody to stop just what they're doing right now because Roll Tide guys here, and he told us that the Miami Heat would cover. Let's stop the show right now and talk about that Heat game against the Timberwolves. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Hold everything. The Heat lost by 16 points. I was gonna come in here and tease Roll Tide guy yesterday about that. They lost by 16 points yesterday. Maybe not last night. Oh well, I'm not okay. We're not on. We're not on any. We're not talking about anything from a few nights ago, Jason. Come on, we're done with that. We're, we're done. Miami Celtics did they play? We don't. Oh, look, brother, I love you here when you come here, but uh, um, I'm talking about the Trailblazers and the 76ers here tonight. I'm not talking about games from last week. This is an 82 game season. Anyways, here, Trailblazers and 76ers for tonight. I'm going to look to take the points here with the Trailblazers. Look, I like what the Trailblazers did. Are they I don't know. Okay, we just talked about the Rockets. Maybe they'll have a little rivalry with the Trailblazers this year as some of the worst teams in the league. But I like what the Trailblazers have done. I like the fact that they, cleared the veterans out, said, hey, we got to start over. Yeah, do they have some veterans? Sometimes when you are redoing things, you got to have some veterans too. Bring along the young guys here. You try to get veterans that have some life, some shelf life left and everything. So they've made a commitment. I think it's important to note. So they know where they stand as a franchise and all that. Um, wasn't going to happen for Dame. Look, even the way that it went down, right? Portland, they had their chances, I guess, not to win it all, but they thought they were getting over the hump. They never made that acquisition for that. Well, I mean, they have a superstar in Lillard, but look, now he's a complement to Giannis. And maybe that's truly what Lillard is, a superstar complement. And the Blazers, despite having that superstar backcourt, you know, probably if you have two great guards, you're going to need something else in there to go over the top. So they, end up breaking it up and whatever. But I like their commitment here. I don't think the Sixers are a blowout type of team at this point. Anything can happen tonight. I'm taking 9 points, 9.5, whatever it is. I'll list it at 9. It's pretty much 9.5 everywhere. The total here has dropped to 217 in tonight's game with Portland and the Sixers. So a little bit of move to the under, and I know the sharps are probably going to go that way, but I think that might be the way the total. Look, I'm going to be on some games tonight. Whether or not this is one of them, I'm looking at this total tonight. So at 218.5, and it's already gone down from an opener of 220, and that's the way I would probably look at it. Blazers on the road, they're going to have to work things out. And, we saw Simons, he's on the injured list right now. He has an injury and he's going to miss. I saw originally 2 to 3 weeks. Then I saw, longer than that for his. I thought it was just a finger or hand injury. So, talk about the key young players. Simons is one of them, no doubt. You would like to have him in the lineup, but early in the season right now, with the way that I'm interested in points. I'm interested in points. Furnace says moving down even further, 217.5. So that's a 2.5 point move to the under. And I'll take the Blazers plus 9.5. All right. Well, the Lakers are going to go on the road to take on the Kings in this one. And, the way the Lakers are going, this is almost like the best rivalry they got nowadays. Anyways, maybe the Lakers are going to find a way to start getting it together here. We know it's a long season. There'll be ups and downs, and the team will definitely underachieve their regular season record, find a way to get in the playoffs, probably end up on the bottom side of the draw and end up losing because they won't have a home court advantage. It's too bad, too, but LeBron definitely, he's not the scorer right now. He's not even the scorer he was maybe last year. And, we already knew the scoring was in pretty rapid decline. There's nothing wrong with LeBron running the point, running the game, running the playmaker, even charging the rim and making strong plays to the basket. Still an incredible physical specimen at his age, but just takes time and overtime. And I think the Lakers have it right. I want to see just a couple more games just to see what they do with these minutes for LeBron. Because I think a change in attitude, a change in philosophy with James's minutes could result in good returns for the Lakers. I would say play LeBron, more games, less minutes, and try to manage it from there. If the games get out of hand, take him out of the game. Don't have him in the games if they fall behind, but give him a chance. Give it a chance to win more games. You gotta be able to get into the top tier of the playoffs. I mean, I think, because in the NBA, unlike some of these other sports, the NBA kind of holds form, doesn't it? Right? It's the one sport. Oh, the one. Maybe not even the NFL, because maybe there's a few elite, but the one sport where it seems like the best teams, right? No 8 seed's going to be winning the NBA Finals unless something like Giannis gets injured or something and then comes back for the play. Not saying like, but right. So in this one, I've got to think this one, the 235 now. Oh my God, really? So this is one where I'm trying. These are the ones where I was kind of striking out last year, and it felt like it shouldn't be. I'm going over here tonight with the Lakers and the Kings. The 240 games like this. Now it's 235, so I feel like I'm playing a little bit of cushion. I'm not just rounding at 240 as like some arbitrary number where games go over and under, but there does seem to be a tipping point for odds makers when setting the lines for the games that approach 240 points. So in this one, I've got to think this time tonight, it looks like an over for me with Lakers and the Kings. This one opened at let me get it here. Open 234 ish to now up to 235. So just a 1 point move here tonight with the Lakers and the Kings. And we know the Kings and their, you know, personnel very with Fox, Sabonis, these guys putting up those big numbers, and Murray also probably, you know, probably pretty good. LeBron is not 100% defensive energy all the time. If it's playoff game, he probably can still run it down, block it off the backboard, and all that. But he's into pacing himself. And Anthony Davis against Sabonis, that could be trouble. But I'm still going to go over. Here's the Lakers here. I think Jason's with me on the over. Is it this one or the last one? I'm not sure. But I'm gonna go over the Lakers and the Kings tonight. Uh, this might be the Austin Reeves tonight. Might have this might be a game where he could do something, where he could have a solid performance here. And as far as the side here, let's see. Jason says he's going to lay the points with the Kings in this one. So he says, I'm on the Kings -2. And, well, at this point, I might join him. We'll see. I might have a premium here. Who knows? But uh, I don't see the Lakers in a need to play any defense here in this one. Take their chances with the offense. And Jason is a Lakers fan, so we have that in common. And well, I like multiple teams, so I'm a wishy-washy guy. I like the Lakers. I like the Clippers. I don't care. I like the Rockets. These are my teams. The Nets. Just have different teams I like. And tonight I like the over and the Lakers and the Kings. And really Fox. No problem against Russell. I would think, right? I mean, you tell me. Fox against Russell, light him up. Sabonis against Davis. Davis, no. Davis does not, play enough consistent defense here, right, Jason? And we don't need that from him necessarily, but you do have to try to find a way to make sure you get in the top four if you can. There's no excuse for the Lakers not to be able to do that, and finishing in sixth or seventh or whatever, playing whatever it is. That's not the way to get there. You got to have. It seems like it, right? Because all we got to do is win one game. This is LeBron. He says, "Oh, we just win one game. We got the home court back." You can't continue to do it over and over. You gotta. I mean, if you're the Lakers, you should be like, "Hey, we got to get a 2 seed. There's no reason we can't compete with the second best teams in the Western Conference." Spurs and the Clippers, and well, come on, the Clippers to be laying points here to this Spurs club like this. Come on. I'll tell you right now, I'm on the Spurs. When you get Pop, it's kind of like I don't want to equate it to what's going on with Connor Bedard. And the Spurs aren't going to necessarily go to the playoffs and win the playoff games. They might go to the playoffs. Uh, we'll see. I look when you get a guy like this, and I'm not saying because I'd come on here and say, "Oh, Connor Bedard, these can't basketball can't miss guys are a little bit different. They can miss, but I don't think this guy's missing." Victor Wembanyama. I mean, we could talk about him all day, all night. And, the great thing about him is he's not going out there and, well, he is actually wowing him if you look at him on the court, how he moves, how he plays, how focused he looks. Yeah, it's still raw in a way, and there's a lot of growing that needs to be done. But, man, he plays within. He's a pro already, makes players around him better. So, all of a sudden, uh, right, these Spurs who we looked at with like, oh, who are these guys to a certain extent, right? With Sohan and oh yeah, Johnson, he'll be a boy. He looks good. Wait till a couple of years, right? Zach Collins, all of a sudden, right? All of a sudden they look like NBA. They look very good. They look like they're here already. Now there's some depth issues with the Spurs, but you don't worry about that with Pop and the Spurs, right? You think so once you solidify something, you get Pop working with a superstar. That's why to me, right, when a guy falls and okay, could Pop have gone maybe Pop could have been a high school coach and like led every team to the state title and now the people end up where they end up, right? Guy like David Robinson falls, uh, in your lap. Huge man, 7 foot 2 man, uh, head, great head on his shoulders, mentally stable, whatever. Get together with a guy like Pop, turn that great talent of David Robinson, who was a great college player, of course, at Navy and had to wait to join turn him into a superstar. Could have done it on his own. David Robinson could have been anywhere, gone anywhere, probably been a superstar. But he went with Pop. Then what happens? Tim Duncan, right? Tim Duncan at Wake Forest, hey, he was great. I mean, he was All American. I mean, Wake Forest, those Wake Forest teams were, great, right? In the late 90s, mid to late 90s, whatever it was, with Duncan, got with Pop. That same thing's going to happen here. Pop's going to retire. No way. Pop's got himself. I don't know. Maybe he could retire in a couple, but I think this rejuvenates a guy like Pop to get a young player like this, and now you're meshing guys. Look, the Johnson's, a scorer. And you look at the guys around him here, right? Wembanyama, Johnson, Vassell. Everybody say, Vassell too. And in this matchup against the Clippers, the Spurs can compete in this game. There's no reason to think they can't cover 8 points here. With a Clippers team have some injuries too right now with a couple bench players here. So Salty Fly guy on the Spurs. Thomas is on the Spurs. Here's Ray on the Spurs. I just told everybody we're taking the Spurs. I don't want you guys, I hope you guys agree with. I hope I'm right on the Spurs. I mean, there's some bad teams in the West. The Spurs right now, they can do it. They can turn it around. They can get to, I don't know, they can get 30 wins, I would think. We'll see. That won't get you far, but I think this is a great situation. I mean, of course it is. I mean, I just feel like it's going to be on pace a little bit faster than maybe people will say, because I think when you have something like this, you build around it. They've been working, right? All right. And Jason says, we got the Thunder, we've got the Nuggets, we got the. Oh, he might be behind in the video. Okay, let's just move on. And the Clippers, and look, the Clippers are getting talked about like, hey, maybe the Clippers, maybe now everybody's overlooked them. No, there'll still be some issues, moving forward with the Clippers. because you have. Look, I love Kawhi. Everybody knows I love Kawhi. Come in here telling you about Kawhi, and hopefully, I think these guys. You got Westbrook on this roster. I like new Russ, okay, but I don't. But I don't think he's still going to be. I don't think he's the chemistry that you need. And I thought Zoo was great last game. So